equipment for the muffins: a small bowl for the wet ingredients, measuring cups, measuring spoons, a big bowl to put everything in, and then for your muffin tin, before you even start anything, you can put the paper things in, but I don't know, the paper things are, I mean, they're fine, but I kind of don't like the non-recycling part of that. So you can just wipe a little oil inside each one of your muffin tins, and that's all the equipment that you're going to need. Flour, applesauce, almonds, vanilla, apple cider vinegar. Of course, you're going to need some peaches, maple syrup, baking soda, baking powder, some cinnamon, salt, and soy milk, or any kind of other milk that you happen to like.
Good morning! It's time to make the muffins! Or maybe, hi, glad you came home from work and you want to make muffins! Whatever time of day it is, if you're going to make the muffins, the first thing you need to do is turn on the oven. There's nothing worse than you get the whole thing together and you're going to whip it right into a cold oven. And especially with stuff like muffins and cakes, it can really ruin the entire recipe. The term is called staying, and where you need to have it stay until the oven's together. And what happens is that a lot of the soda and all the leavening begins to kind of fuzzle, and you don't really get a good product. So first thing, always preheat the oven. Even though you think it's kind of stupid, it's going to be 3 hours for you to be able to get this thing into it. Just do it. Next, take care of your pan. By this, you want to put a little bit of oil in a couple of the cups, and then you just put that all the way around. And when I say a very little bit of oil, I do not mean a teaspoon. I mean just enough that you should be able to do half of this with one little splurge and the other half with the other little splurge. We're done. Oh, make sure that you do this part also, because just in case your muffins get a little big and they go over on the sides, then they won't stick. It'll help them not stick. I do not do the whole boiling, peeling thing with peaches. I just don't. I think as much as you can get in there that's intact, there's a reason for it. So this is how I do it. I go around the outside, then I turn it to where it's a quarter. Then I cut those. So now I have about 8 pieces going around. And then I start at the bottom and I just roll it. And then you just break them up. And all the pieces will just come off for you. It's not a big deal.
Okay, when I go to do nuts, this is how I do it. I fill up the measuring cup, and then you can put them into your food processor, and that's great. I tend to make them too small. The pieces like teeny tiny when I do it in the food processor. The same thing for pecans. I just found that I just really mashed up pecans when I did it in the food processor. So if you can find the magic method for doing it in your food processor, you are a better chef than I. There we go. Done.
Alright, now we're going to make our muffins. So, I'm going to take my flour, which I understand this is a liquid measure, but I measured it with dry measuring cups. Just for those of you who don't know, there actually is a difference between liquid and dry measuring cups. And baking powder and baking soda, which likes to stick. And then some salt, cover up those flavors. And then I'm going to add my cinnamon, which I've also decided to do something else. I've decided to add a little bit of clove to this because I just think that peaches and cinnamon and just a touch of clove just were made for each other. Now, I'm going to mix this up, and then I'm going to do the liquid ingredients separately. Okay, but this is my big bowl because everything's going to go into my big bowl, and you start with the dry ingredients in your big bowl. Now we're going to put the liquid ingredients together. So there's my milk, and I'm using applesauce as my oil substitute. In June's recipes, I go through a few different substitutes that you can use for oils, and we do things with oil substitutes. So if you missed that one, I just want you to know. Okay, this is what I want you to know. I put all this stuff in. This is the cider vinegar, apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put this in here, and it's going to start reacting to anything that possibly is in here. Then, I want to whip this up really quickly, right? And then, we're going to dump it in here. Now, the minute you dump it in here, it is going to start reacting with the baking soda. So that's a little chemistry that happens. So that's why you do this really, really quickly. Now I'm going to whisk, and I start whisking in the center. A little motion in the center, okay? And then I go and I get a little bit more from the exterior, and I'm still going in the center. And I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to use my spatula. Now I'm going to add these and get it all mixed up. Oh, those peaches smell so good. Now I use a lot of fruit. In the recipe, I think I just told you to use a cup of peaches. I use about a cup and a half, but that's me. I like them this way. So make them with whatever the recipe says. And then if you want more, you know, use more. But I like mine with a lot of fruit. Now that's it. End of stirring. Muffins, you do not want to stir too much. This is a 1/3 cup. And I'm going to fill these about 2/3 full. I don't like huge muffins. I like nice little muffins so that you can have them for breakfast, and if you come home from work and it's late and you just want something to nibble on, or I can nibble on something nice and small and not some huge muffin that makes me feel like I'm eating 10 tons of butter. They're also really yummy to take to a brunch or to a picnic that maybe starts, you know, in the morning, like you're going to be there all day. And here we go. Okay, they're going into the oven, and after 10 minutes, I'm going to turn it around, turn the pan around, and put them in for another 10 minutes. You should check them after 15 minutes, especially if you have a very fast oven. I have a slow oven. This is what I learned when I was selling my muffins to a small bakery in Manhattan. I use a plastic knife to get them out. Because I used so much fruit, a lot of times they would get stuck because there was so much fruit. And I found that a plastic knife would get the fruit and pull them out without breaking them or having some little hole or little thing on the side. Okay, let's try one. I let these cool for about 10 minutes. Oh my God. See, I love them. They're sticking to everywhere inside my mouth. I can't smile because there's all kinds of stuff inside on my teeth. But, oh, this tastes so good. I got a nice little chunk of almond. If you like your almonds smaller, or you can just buy them cut or chopped, or what, you know, whatever makes you happy. And this is the way I really like them, but they're really, really punched into something that just stuck to my teeth. I need a hot cup of tea. I'm gonna go make one.